Okay, so this is the last video that is going to cover the business strategies. So I wanted to divide it again in short videos so it's very digestible. Like I mentioned in the beginning, there are many other strategies available, but these are the ones that work best for fashion brands. So let's wrap this video with the last strategies, okay? So the next one is publicity. So this is traditional PR, right? It could be anything like being on a magazine or going being on TV, on a TV segment, right? Nowadays with the internet, there are many other possibilities, like for example, being featured on a podcast. So anything that has to do with media, right? Sending a press release, being on a newspaper, right? That is publicity. Okay, that's a great strategy. Some of them, nowadays with the internet, some of them are free, others ones you have to pay and you can get very pricey, so you have to think about your budget. But there again, there's a lot of opportunities, for example with local media. So if this is something that you would like to do, you can consider it as well. The next one is offline ads. So these are like billboards, right? Or you see, for example, on the street, they have a bench, right? Traditional benches, right? That they have an ad there. Anything that is an ad but offline in the real world. If that's something that works for you, that would attract your audience, that's another possibility. The next one is blog features. So this is about, nowadays there's so many blogs out there, and each of them, they focus on a particular area. There are a lot of fashion blogs, for example, and then there's even more, they get more specific and specific. So if you have, for example, a handbag brand, then there are blogs out there that only focus on handbags. So you could approach them and then you can do different things with them. Perhaps you write a piece of content for them that helps their audience, let's say with handbag trends this summer, and then they can feature it. And then since your audience, right, who liked handbags hang in there, that's a great way to connect with them, because then they can share your information and then they can send the traffic back to you. Another way that people do this is perhaps they pitch to the blogger and they say, hey, I want to promote my product and all of this. You build a relationship with them, and perhaps they write the piece of content and then they include your product, right? They feature your product. Like there's different ways to go about it. Maybe you create the content, or they create the content, or they just mentioned your content. But there's a huge area here, and the great thing about it is that people who are most likely to like your product are already on their site. So that's another possibility when it comes to marketing and building your business strategy. And then the last one is search engine marketing. So this one is about paying, right, the search engines like Google, for example, for your product to show up higher, right? So when you Google something and the list, shows up there, the people who are higher, right? You can even tell it says ads, right? Those are people who are paying to show up in there. So this strategy can get really pricey, right? Because you're competing with huge players here, like big brands that have huge budgets. So this is one that I don't really recommend. But anyways, you can of course do your research and find out more about this. But I feel like the other ones have more of an organic reach, and you can get more return on your investment. So let me know, take a moment to look at all of them, right? And write down perhaps 2 or 3 that really caught your eye, that really align with your brand and what you do, so we can jump into the next video and start breaking down the strategy so you know the steps that you need to take to implement this. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video.